Hey there, welcome. I am Chrissy Key Rollins, and I'm excited that you are plugging into this training. I am offering you the 3 keys for effective communication for business success. And this is a recap of the presentation that I did a couple weeks ago for the Garner chapter of the 1099 Free Ladies Networking Group. And it's an honor to bring this to you. So if you don't know who I am a holistic wellness practitioner. I am a holistic life and business coach, and I am a mindset master trainer. And my specialty is helping you to shift the way that you identify with yourselves and the world around you so that you can take confident action with ease and move forward your business, your mission in an aligned way that feels amazing to you and those that you interact with. And one of the ways that I have found to be the best and most consistent way to put people at ease and to build authentic, powerful connections, be it in networking, be it in my personal life, or be it when I am connecting with potential clients or communicating about my offerings and putting my work out there in the world, I find that effective communication is the key to all resolution that is needed. So if you're having an issue in any area of your life, take a look at these 3 keys and see if these are in place with your communications in this arena. After 12 years of being a business owner and 16 and a half years into a domestic partnership, I am more than convinced than ever that effective communication will lead to resolution and to a win-win situation, which is actually one of my core values and something that I aim for in all the decisions that I make. So what is really cool about these 3 keys that I'm going to share with you today is that, again, you can take them into your personal life. You can take them into your business life. You can use them when you're typing an email. You can use them in face-to-face conversations. You can use them to stay confident in confrontational situations. A lot of my work is done with more passive, big feeling entrepreneurs. We don't necessarily self-identify with the more aggressive, in-your-face, polished, perfect, masculine display of doing business and making sales. We're more soft, we're more gentle. We don't really like the spotlight, but we really love to connect with people. So effective communication and having just a game plan. I do a lot of work with people on building confidence and finding their voice and the confidence to use it out into the world. And what I've found consistently is that if you're not taking action, it is always because there's a lack of confidence on some level. And a lot of us are super confident about the work that we're doing in the world, but we're not super confident on our ability to effectively communicate our desires and our offerings to other people. So for me, it's just been a total game changer to have a game plan and a thought process behind my communications. Again, be it virtual communications that are done online via sales copy, or if it's in front confrontational situations that really I don't like, but sometimes we have to have them. And what ends up happening whenever we don't have this confidence, when we don't have this awareness, when we don't like confrontations, what happens far too often, I witness it in my own personal life, I see it around me a lot, is that we jump to conclusions, we lean to making assumptions, and we will stop communicating with the other person, which will stop there being an opportunity for true resolution. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet so you can really digest it and take it in and keep it very practical and actionable. So it's not just about concepts, but we'll give you a practical way to integrate it into your life. Okay, so the first key is know who you're dealing with. Know who you are dealing with and remind them who they are. So in any of our communications, you are dealing with either an audience or a specific individual, but you are also dealing with yourself. So not only do you need to get connected to who it is that you're dealing with, you also need to be connected to who it is that you're dealing with yourself. So you need to know who you are. What are your beliefs? Who do you know yourself to be? And this is crucial if you're going into a conversation or communications where somebody is misunderstanding you, or there's a chance that you're being misrepresented or misunderstood, right? So you have to know who you are, because if you don't know who you are, if you're not really anchored into what you believe, that's where we can fall into the pitfalls of placating to other people, not speaking up for our truth, and not being an advocate for ourselves. Or we could take ourselves out of the game with self-doubt and worry and fear. But if we get back connected to our authentic, true intentions, to the pure good intention that we have in our heart, we can build that confidence and that self-trust towards using our voice and taking that communication out there into the world. It's also important that you know who it is that you're dealing with on the other side. So if you're dealing with an individual, again, let's take a confrontational situation, because I think this is where most of us kind of get shook up when it comes to communications. So say there's a confrontational situation, something that doesn't feel good, that you need to approach this other person about. Before you approach them, remember who you're dealing with. Get to who you know that person to be. What are the fundamental truths that you know about this person? Not what did you witness from this person, what did you experience from this person, but what do you know for absolute fact or to the best of your ability about this person? Most people that we're dealing with are well-intended. They have big hearts, big visions. They want the best. And every single human on this planet, I believe, just want to be seen, want to be heard, and want to know that they matter. Every single person on this planet wants to just have a good day and not be hassled. And they don't want to disrupt other people's days. I don't believe that they do. They just want to get along and not be bothered, right? So when we can get reminded by these truths and we can bring these facts to the table, then we can remember, although this person might display themselves as somebody who is out of integrity, we actually know them to be somebody who is integrity. And not only do we need to remind ourselves who we're dealing with, a lot of times we need to remind them, which leads me to key number 2. Stick to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And then build from there. So as you remind yourself who you are, and you remind yourself who this other person is, sometimes we need to remind them who they are as well. I use this technique a lot with my husband because sometimes he has a hard time hearing what I'm saying if I address it in a different way. So I'll start with, what I know to be true about you is that you're a compassionate man who is on my side, has my back, and wants what's best for me. You go out of your way to make sure that I have the best, and that is a remarkable quality. When you start with the truth and you remind people who they are, it sets it up in a totally different way than, this is what I saw you do, and this is what I felt like, and this is what it looks like, and this is my experience of you. It puts people on the defense, it puts their guard up, and it starts with your mistruths, your misperceptions, or possible misperceptions, and it doesn't start with a strong foundation of truth. Once you lay down that foundation of truth, you can then build from there. So, always stick to the facts, come to what you know to be true about yourself and this other person. And same if you're dealing with an audience. Sometimes you need to remind your audience who they are. A lot of our audiences have been discounted, have been told they can't do something that we know is possible for them, have been told that they have traits and qualities that will hold them back in life, but really we know that they have more inside of them. Sometimes you need to remind your audience who they are and what's possible for them. And especially if you're putting an offer out there, you need to communicate who that offer is for, what benefit they're going to have, what an experience you're going to bring them to, and what challenge you're going to help them to overcome. And you need to remind them that it's possible for them, because that's a truth that you believe, or else you wouldn't be putting your great work out there into the world. Okay, the last, and this is a really important key, the third key to effective communication is seek first to understand, then to be understood. So many of us are in such a noble desire to be understood by other people because we want to be received. We just want to be understood. We don't want to be taken wrong, right? And we spend a lot of our time communicating to get people to understand us. What I have found to be far more effective is to understand them first. When the other party feels understood, they put their guard down. It's kind of like emptying a glass. Picture everybody as a full glass. And until you pour out what they're holding onto, they're not going to have room to receive what you're pouring into them. So if you show up and say, I know that you misunderstood me yesterday because of blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. Here's all the things and reasons why I did what I did. All that they're going to hear is their own voice in their head coming up with a comeback to argue every point that you say. But if instead you set this all up, you set this all up and you follow these 3 keys, it would look like a very different conversation. It would look like one that says, You're my partner, and I care about you greatly. And when I start to doubt us, I remember how steadfast you are, how committed you are, how hard you work for us, how much you advocate for us, and how you are such a remarkable integrity-filled person, and that's something that you aim for all the time. And I just really want to honor you for having those qualities. What's interesting is that when I witness you do X, Y, and Z action, it doesn't really line up with all those wonderful things that I know to be true about you. So can you help me to understand why you took the actions that you took? Can you help me to understand what your thought process was behind it? And then shut up and listen to what they have to say. When you start with reminding somebody who they are, when you start with facts, and then you give them the opportunity to fill in the rest of the story, you are more likely going to have effective communication than if you tell them how you're experiencing them and how you are trying to come across for yourself. Because once you start to understand their side, you know how to talk about your side. You don't know what areas they need cleared up or that they need until you hear what they need. This is why a lot of people fail at sales. And this is why I teach my clients a completely different way to sell, where it's no longer selling at all. In fact, I tell them, ditch the pitch and allow service to be the new selling. Because when you connect with your audience, when you connect with that potential client, when you connect with that individual that you're looking to have this effective communication with, and you find out more about them first, it's a heck of a lot easier to talk about what it is that you want to bring to the table and align what it is that you are intending up with what it is that interests them most. And if you don't have these keys in place, your communication is going to be more likely to not connect with that ideal audience. It's more likely going to fail to accurately represent you, your intentions, and it is more likely to cause further disillusions and disjointment than the resolution that you're really seeking. So I'd love to know, what did you think about these? Do you already incorporate these in your communications? Can you see how these could take your communications to the next level? And basically, it's just a whole lot of setting aside your own personal agendas, your own personal preconceived notions, clearing the path and getting back to what you fundamentally know to be true about yourself and the other people in the world, and then approaching it from a different way that allows you to better understand the situation and allow life around you to lead the way for what communications need to come from you. It's a power move in my personal experience. It's a skill set that you can develop, but it is the way to pave confidence for moving forward all of your endeavors in your personal and your business life. I want to know, what are you taking away from this training? Comment below. I've got a little handout attached that goes along with this. So if you don't have access to that and you want that, hit me up and I will get you a copy of that. You can just drop a note in the comments below, or you can send me an email to askcrissy, ASKCRISSY @gmail.com, and I'll make sure to get a copy of that over to you. It's been an honor to bring you this presentation. I hope that you have found it valuable. I would really love to have your feedback, and if there's any further support that I can offer you, then do reach out. I'm here to listen. All right. Have a wonderful day. Bye.